Let's go. Game kedua bang ya antara Onyx PH melawan Aurora. 1-0 untuk sementara. Aurora menang. Ini dia.
That is true.
Game yang
Only
kedua.
one game had win already under its belt. It's a classic Demon Kite hero as well. So let's see what's gonna happen here on game number 2 between Onyx.
Tiba-tiba pakai Link di sana Demon Kite.
It was Kyle TZ and Team Falcons
Sementara
that played Link first this season, and it won.
King Kong masih percaya dengan Suyo-nya. Emang dari tadi Suyo-nya oke juga.
He can probably do it with the Ling. It is great
bisa
again to
di-take down.
see some of these other heroes pop up though, just because we're so used to seeing, you know, the Suyos and the Joys in the jungle. But already, you know, taking a look at the emblems, he is running that killing spree still with the Sling.
Yeah, pure damage. It's a
Di
Fatal,
emblemnya.
Warcry, Assassin, and
Demon Kite tiba-tiba
Domika
pakai Link.
wants to maximize the raw damage he can output. Gets
Masih
Weapons
meta kah Link?
Master alongside Inspire
Yeah.
for his emblem talents.
I guess that's one of the few ways you can actually keep up with the Suyo, right? Straight up damage output and try to get him with as few hits as possible, because more likely than not, you're the one who's on the receiving end. You're very fragile as a Ling.
What is the Fatal again? It's like 5% crit? Is it
Yeah.
5% crit, right? I always get those in killing spree mixed up, but the fact that he's got the Warcry emblem, you know, and he's able to go ahead and pop out some of that extra damage, I'm wondering though, as later in the game, that it's going to be increasingly more difficult for him to actually fight toe-to-toe, just because, again, you have an Eve
Mari
product
kita
build
lihat.
means, you know, you might have to deal with Brusco trying to kick you at the same time. So I think for Onyx
Tapi
Philippines, if
sudah
they can
jadi.
actually get that Tempest Blades
Boom,
out early,
boom.
that does
Mati
a lot
dong.
already in the mid lane. Edward going to be in
Udah
trouble.
level 4 dong
RWO
itu.
drop down. Brusco will flicker out defensively. So they force that fight. They'll call it off, and now the turtle's up.
Yeah, fast level 4 for Super Friends actually getting the real world manipulation right away.
Betul lah.
And Aurora understanding the tendencies of Onyx Philippines to go for that pre-turtle trade. We're ready for it, but they weren't ready for Super Friends being level 4. Onyx get the first turtle.
There you go. This time around, it's going to be Onyx who are ahead on the objectives very early on. And that is really saying something. Now, it feels like Aurora are going to have to turtle up a little bit just to be able to catch up here.
Okay. So with that, they get themselves a very minor lead. We'll see how they adjust from here. Again, they kind of have to play around their own timings. Rora's a little bit different. Not too much difference, though, in a lane-to-lane matchup right now, while both teams just go ahead and focus on farming. This is very similar to what we saw in Game 1 in the early game, until eventually kind of all hell broke loose, you know, by that second turtle.
All right, so yeah, we haven't really seen the full effect of the Onyx the Aurora lineup so far.
Ouch.
Then again, their damage is quite lacking at this
Malah
point.
ketemu
Demon Kite,
King Kongnya
ouch,
duluan.
is the right term.
Linknya nggak ngambil buff merah duluan.
We're looking for damage right now. We have a lot of crowd control, but not really much to follow up on it.
Okay. Very slow rotation so far. Aurora just trying to find an opening through the center. Again, with how these two know well each other, they really don't want to let up with controlling the center of the map. Going a bit closer. Let's see if anyone will try to go for a sequence in the gold. Renegade is going to show up here.
I think that, though, again, is even just going to be spotted out, man. They have their bases covered everywhere.
Pretty much.
And we could have a very, once again, a situation where it's a very Filipino game. You know, low kills, at least until things kind of break out. UA also just kind of getting spotted out. Kirk, they know that
Masih pasif saya.
Demon Kite wants to go in and secure
Tumben.
that, so that's the information given. But we're 15 away from that turtle.
Yep, Kirk just wants to check here. Again, no damage quite yet from the Aurora lineup. And now it's Onyx who are looking for some of these kills to happen. No one making or committing to any major mistakes yet, though.
Turtle yang kedua.
Should be a slow start. I wonder if Aurora's suddenly going to pull the trigger and go for a very aggro play here, as Onyx have already started the turtle, but will back off as King Kong wants to get his buff first.
Probably could. Just back off for now. Both junglers getting into a position where they need that buff, and they want to go for an all-out fight. You want to make sure that you have the tools to take that fight, and yeah, they're doing it right now.
Okay, Brusco holding on here. He does have the flicker available. UA's going to be fine. The buff's secured now, so they're going to get in position. Aurora has a lot of utility. The question is, will Renegade actually be able to use it? Will he go in with Sandstorm? or vice versa from Onyx Philippines.
Gas,
They're
gas,
finally
gas.
up on this side. The gold laners will go ahead and stay 1v1ing down in that gold lane, but very slow. Second turtle of the game, clearing things out, just kind of feeling out the area right now.
Kelranya
And there's fight happening
mau turun kah?
very soon here. Team Kite waiting for the retribution range. Oh,
Oh, they're going to have to go for it. King Kong will get the retribution off. There's the kick from Edward. A sandstorm from Renegade, but they immediately call it off. They don't have enough damage to actually go for that fight. Now the fight for it. The
Masuk ke dalam loh.
Brusco jumps in too. Now Super Prince could be in trouble. Demon Kite at the front of it. Tempest Blade's going to be used. Now RWO already dropped down. They just don't have enough damage to fight against Onyx Philippines.
pas sekali
Crash
jatuhnya.
down and Edward in trouble. Finally a kill on the board for Onyx. And they get the buff.
first blood at 5 minutes and 49 seconds.
What did I say about these two teams in the last one? These two teams really know how to make something happen every time around 4 to 6 minutes. It's a big one. It'll be a slow start, then suddenly something will explode, something will go very wrong or very right,
Jebol lah
depending on
semua
who
ini.
you're going to be looking at. It went very right there for Onyx. Brusco and Kirk were on point there, and even Super Friends holding on to the real world manipulation as long as possible, forcing Demon Kite out of the purple buff. He was forced to use his retry there, so he loses his purple buff. He couldn't even get a knock-up on Super Friends because he uses real world
Udah langsung
manipulation
beda
to
menuju
avoid getting
4.000
crowd
loh.
controlled by the Ling.
So much stomps here for Onyx so far.
Mati nggak? Oh mati
Really in
pasti.
trouble. There's the kick. UA
Empat
trying to help
orang
him
itu.
out. Renegade's going to be too late. Even with the pathway, won't be able to escape. A jump in from Kirk. And standing there menacingly after the jump, it's going to be fine. Another kill on the board for Onyx.
Definitely a better game for Kelra this time around when everyone is busy just trying to deal with all these AOGs and Brusco on the show. It looks very good for the Granger of Kelra.
Oh, Renegade will be able to find two with the sandstorm. This is the
Enak
time
kali itu.
they go. They will find one now. Kirk could be in trouble too. Quite tanky himself. The rest of the team comes through and Kirk will go down. Another pull
Dihantam
and the
langsung dua,
utility
Bang,
from this Jushin paying off.
That's a 2 for none here. King Kong with a
Tapi
steal
King
on
Kongnya
the buff.
selalu
Pretty
farming,
huge.
farming, dan farming.
All right, but this purple buff, this turtle should take for Onyx is not going to be easy. They cannot fully commit into this.
Beda
As
3
Aurora will
level
take it.
loh.
A great rotation by Renegade to put him
Ling
in the spot
lawan
to cash off Brusco and Super Prince.
Suyo.
Conceal going to be used again, focusing on the turtle, trying to zone him out. King Kong might try to jump in on this. He goes in for it. UA actually secures the turtle, and they'll go ahead and disengage. So yes, that was difficult, even Demon Kite without the buff, but they get the objective.
Demon Kite, no retry then. King Kong didn't have his readily available for him as well, so they just tried to play out to see who could get the last hit. Brusco.
Okay,
Go,
Brusco. And they just want to put pressure on anywhere they can for Demon Kite. They're going to wait here patiently. King Kong will get out of there. He needs the whole team to go ahead and just help secure the orange buff, and that's the things about the Lings. You know, they need to be very dependent on grabbing their buffs and not having them stolen.
And it's honestly a little bit more difficult for them to actually pull off a sustained team fight. Aurora got a bit of an
Linknya
advantage,
baru
but that
jadi
was
Haskell
because
itu.
they
Ini
caught
dia.
Onyx by surprise. If Onyx sees it coming, it
Damage
might be a
terbesar
different story. They
Super
might
Prince
be able
kayak
to
itu.
just dip and dash out of harm's way here.
25.000
They have the
bos.
lineup to do it.
Yep. They can go ahead and continue to just win on the map is what Onyx Philippines really wants to do. Meanwhile, this whole time though, you know,
Ini
for the
gold
most part,
terbanyak
the gold
Kelra,
laners, this is where they
7.000.
start to shift as a
King Kong
focus.
6.000.
And, you know, the whole time, this 9 minutes that they've been farming up, their damage start to really come online. Renegade's taking a lot of shots. Edward, too, might be in trouble. Already getting the glorious pathway out. This is the pressure. Now for the purple buff. Demon Kite's going to have to
Di-ulti
fight
saja
for
oleh
it.
Super Prince.
Shots. Demon Kite takes a Queller shot and will have to get out there, too. And that's just going to be a purple buff. Taking it now once again from Demon Kite.
A damn good real-world manipulation coming out from Super Friends to
Harusnya
zone out and
harusnya
stop any
satu sama,
chances of
Bang, ya.
Aurora. Try and force a fight in the purple buff and giving a chance for Demon Kite to take it. By the way, it's 3, make it that 2 levels behind King Kong. I believe King Kong should be closer to hitting level 15, while Demon Kite just got past the level 12 hump. In terms of the items, it is Radiant and
Ini dia
Dreadnought
itemnya.
for Renegade. Excuse me, for Edward. So a good amount of time
Lord
is coming out from that
yang
Hylos.
pertama spawn.
Well, it's of course a Thunderbelt Rush for the Khalid. And I like the itemization of Super Prince. Actually went for the Bloodwing second item. He's prioritizing his own survivability. knowing again that he's up against a lineup that could mess him up easily if he's not careful.
Yeah, whatever they talked about there in that dugout, Onyx 100% feels a lot different in this game. And Super Friends is more on point. Now he's back on the eve
Lord
and
Lens
can
di
go
sana.
into more confident positions here. Look at them.
Team fight
Making
ini
sure
dia.
that they have a lot more advantage in terms of vision and control of this Lord.
So also a pretty big gap between the junglers right now. As King Kong is 15,
Team
Demon
fight
Kite's
damage.
12, probably almost 13.
Suyo.
Half health on the Lord. They're gonna poke down Rora.
Granger.
Pathway gonna be dropped. Renegade 2 goes in with a Raging Sandstorm. Pops the
Dapat
flicker from
King
Kelro.
Kong.
Kelro could be in trouble though.
Gantem
Under
loh
turret.
semua.
They find the kick on Demon Kite and
Mati
he's gone.
satu.
A double for Kelra. They're looking for Doman Kite. They'll find him as well. 3 down for Rora. As now Onyx Philippines
Tiga mati
will
dari
go
Rora.
into the mid. The Lord is already secured and they want to
Masuk
take
end
the
lagi.
turrets.
Masih lot
20
pertama loh.
seconds in, feels like a big advantage here for Onyx. Trying to go for the jugular here, attacking on the mid. UN Renegade might be in trouble.
Oh, already working on that mid turret. Even with the shield down, King Kong's gonna jump in.
Di
Has a ton of
lompat.
damage now. Renegade
sakitnya.
is gonna be gone as a shot comes through, and still the Lord is up. Now on the top side, Onyx Philippines looking to take more.
Get
4
top.
up though for Rora. Will they be able to look for another kill, another queller shot from King Kong? And now they face off. Have to deal with the Lord.
Satu sama kah?
Demon Kite going in from that back angle. He's going to be stared down
Terlalu
though.
sakit di sana.
Kelro possibly to jump in. Kirk jumps in and Demon Kite
Satu
punished
sama.
again.
Perbedaan gol
We
dia
have
terlalu
a
jauh
game
bang ya.
3 ahead of us.
Wow. That